live on my Pew Productions YouTube.
Okay.
We're live.
We're in group A. Channel
50%.
Oh, 51%.
It's about 81.
Yeah, because it's not strong enough to go to the Facebook and hold it.
Mic test 1, 2.
So he's got a Pew Facebook that he's going to share to Facebook.
What's your Got it. Let us do that. I don't.
I'll get that page in.
Okay. I don't know why it won't let us do Facebook, but it'll let us just do YouTube.
Weird. Up there. It's got to come here.
All right, we're live.
We go, man. We go.
So you running in any class? Okay.
We have our in
Oh, that's
here.
How do you go from there?
Yeah.
So you just gotta unplug that?
This is mic out. So this mic pops to this box. And it's got to come in.
I'm going to get my iPad so you need it. Well, this goes to your speakers. I was doing the video and just left it on the tailgate.
I love electronics.
It shows off. And this one's going where?
Where's that other cord I gave you? I had one more mic cord. That's not it. That's not a mic cord.
It is a mic cord. This has a different end. So if this is the speaker, go out there and make sure that's in.
It's in the input.
It's in the input.
Here's your other cord. There's sound, it's just your wireless is not working.
Mic test 1, 2. Mic test 1, 2. Hey Brandon, come help me for a second.
Yes, I did.
One. Okay, so I got wireless.
Okay.
It's got to talk to this box.
Okay.
Talk to that speaker to go through that
Aren't you
speaker.
supposed to have a changer
This
that...
will talk to that box. You just plug it into that box. So
Plugged into itself.
what do you have here?
So I have this cord here.
Uh-huh.
It's running out of this box.
Okay.
Where it would
So you're
say
moving
mic out.
So take that right there.
Yep.
Plug it in channel,
1.
whichever one you want. Yeah. So I think our problem there is that's your mic though, right?
This
that?
cord
That
is
goes to the
into the speaker. This is out of here.
Okay. What are those there say, Sonny? On the very far side. Right there.
These two left and right.
Oh, that
Okay,
says
take
out,
that, put-
main out.
Put that on left or right. Put it on left. It's on this side. No. The far one.
Come in here.
Let's turn it down though.
It's like playing
Yeah, plug it in.
operator.
Okay, I turn it off. Because these have power. These have these over there. Yeah, let me turn this on. Okay, try now.
You want me to turn this one off?
Nothing. Is it on? No. That may help, huh? Try now.
Oh.
Nothing. Okay, try one.
This is good.
Here.
Bluetooth is on.
Well, the Bluetooth is in my phone.
Yeah, that would use phone. But still, that wouldn't have anything to do with your speaker.
Correct.
Okay, just a minute here. This is.
There, I hear it over here. It's not loud.
Mic test 1 2. Mic test 1 2.
Okay, try now.
Mic test 1 2.
There you
Look
are.
at you go, Brandon Pugh.
Why is it fuzzy though?
We got too much fuzz in it.
Okay.
What's that?
Turn up what you got in the middle there. Take your bass out. Is there a low right there on the channel 1? Take your lows out. All the way out. Yeah, equalize those. But you want highs in yours.
Mic test 1 2.
Pretty good. Now take it on the bottom knob, turn that all the way up.
Mic test 1 2.
Now take that other bottom one.
I just turned
On
it
the far
down
right.
over here, babe.
Mic
Brandon.
test.
I turned it down over here and it stopped the fuzz.
Okay, well, we're trying to test it.
But we need some sound. Is there any gain? Let me go in there. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay, come on.
This is buzzing. All right, so this is going to be your gains. Go ahead and speak. Just keep talking.
Well, we want to welcome everyone to the NRS Ranch tonight. We apologize for the little transfer of technology from up in the field all the way down here. If you'll give us another couple of minutes here, our good man Brandon Pugh is going to get her dialed down the way we need her to be.
Okay. That should be all the way up. I don't know why I'm not getting anything here, but we're getting sound. And then you ran. You know what? Let's take that through.
Fish in here. One in here.
Because if we run it
Because I don't
directly,
want you to-
not
That one isn't. That one isn't fuzzy. It's all in that speaker.
That's all fuzzy.
Well, maybe that gain's up. Maybe you need to adjust the gain on that.
I turned that one down. Let me turn that one up and see what happens.
Well, we've been blessed with beautiful weather here this week at the NRS Ranch. And we've been blessed to build some new family members here at the NRS Ranch this week. And as we get ready to go through this Novice Finals top 10 dogs, slow to high, that is what we're going to work on.
There's a short in this one.
In the cord or in the speaker?
Can you fix your stuff and take pictures?
Mic test 1 2.
Your light.
Where you want that to go?
Let me see if I have something.
Pictures.
That.
Huh? How you check the pictures? Can I run from? No, check. I'll show you.
See that little gray box underneath you? Right down there? Yes, ma'am. No. Yeah, sorry. Let's see what I got here. Okay, I gave you the one that went already. What do I got here? Okay. Let me see something here. Where's that? Here, right here. Hey Dallas, down in the door on your mom's side, there's a long metal thing like that. Can you get that for me? Looks like this.
Dallas, it looks like this.
Looks like this.
I'm gonna give him a job.
I don't think this may work. Let's see here. Okay, what did we transfer over? There was a piece that we transferred. Oh, we did this.
Well, you have this.
Yeah.
You have a jack in back.
Yeah. Let's take this. I've got this right here. Let's see. Okay, let's just go directly in. This. through the window. Is it just right here?
Well, that's loud.
That's loud, but we got a short somewhere. So this,
He said, in the door. Like, take stuff out of the door.
how is that? Oh, we have that right there. So this is going to be. This is 1, 2. If I would just want mine though. So this.
You can't find it. It's on your side.
Did he find it?
Yeah, he found it.
Oh yeah. On my side.
Yeah, he's looking on the passenger side.
Okay. It's alright.
Okay, this stays on right at all times.
How do you check that camera pictures?
So, do not touch it. Do not drop it.
This.
Okay, on and off. Okay,
Troy,
on.
This goes to
Okay.
the.
how do you check
You take a picture with your eye up there. Show me which one to take a picture of. Take.
Yeah,
Don't go through this.
Now,
And this is.
remember we had trouble with that whenever over there?
Use that.
Did it just go
Bring it
off
down?
or did you turn it off?
No, you just want to.
it needs a fucking.
See, that's got a short in it. That
How do you
bothers
got
me.
that?
I know. When I moved it a minute ago, it killed it too. So when we get it running again, let's
Can you
just.
stand it up on the end? Can you stand it up on the end?
Yeah. Can you?
Crowley.
Is it in the connection inside of it? Okay, so is it in the cord? Okay, pull that cord out.
Here's a brand new.
Where does this goes across to the other one? Doesn't it?
Right there.
Close it.
So this is
I just said
what cable is this? This is
Yeah.
this was their cable. Yeah. This is the one that had that funny doohickey on it. All right, let's take. And that's why they're having to use it because it's their sound system. It's a plug-in. All right, let's try this.
I found this on the ground.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, like,
Is that
like there's a big fucking check on the ground.
no. Yeah, they
Can I borrow some?
Is it? Try this then. Or is that? No, that doesn't work. Does it?
That'll go into it.
Yeah, but you don't have anything to go in there.
I don't need back here.
Okay, let me see. Hold this. See if I got it.
Somebody else's?
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
What? Will that one you got go into this?
Brandon.
I don't know. Sir?
Will any of those
Yes.
cords right there help?
Try this. Sir?
Will those cords right there help?
It might, yes, sir. Yes, sir, they will. That's my little. But the problem is how low it is. Turn. Is that your phone? Turn your.
Sing. What do you want me to do?
Oh, it's. Okay.
I turned it up.
Okay. So now take this and go through the throat. Yes, sir. Because the problem is in the cable.
Crowley. Up there.
I thought.
Can we lose it
You
again?
got it?
I think we lost it.
No, I turned it off.
Oh, did you?
I'm jacking with you.
Okay, try this.
Mic test 1 2. Mic test 1 2.
You have anything going on?
Not coming in here.
Here we go.
That's loud.
Here, right there. Oh, that right there.
Mic test 1 2. You guys hear over there on the hill? Wave at me over there on the hill if you can hear. Lady with a dog, can you hear me up there?
They're talking.
They're talking. What about over here in the grandstands? Yeah, good to go? Man, y'all give Brandon Pugh a big round of applause. It is really, really tough these days to do anything without technology and all the things that go along with it. I tell you what, we have, as I was saying a while ago, really, really enjoyed having the NCA, the National Cattle Dog Association, here this year. When the phone calls started coming in, we were going to try to have this event, and board members that were working so hard, so diligently on it. It was a very, very special time for us. As we get things kind of rebooted here and make sure Brandon's got his feed going, we're just going to help things along a little bit this evening. We're going to do one of the best things that we can absolutely do in this great nation that we are all blessed to live in. We have some neighbors from the north up there, just across the road in Canada. And we're proud that you guys have traveled south to see us down here today and this week. So, Brandon, are you good to go? We want to welcome everybody that's watching live on the internet tonight. Welcome to the NRS Ranch here in Decatur, Texas. This event tonight is going to be held in the seed of all things Western. And this arena was built 38 years ago now, by Mr. David Isham, the owner. So everything that you've experienced here this week is part of it. As we watch our flag carriers go around, we're going to introduce them real quick as well. Mr. Ryan Oaks carrying the Great Texas flag. Mr. Jensen Gaynor carrying the NRS Ranch flag. And the best colors in the world, the strongest colors in the world, Old Glory. And they're carried by Mr. Jason Terrell of Granbury, Texas. Well, we appreciate their participation this week as well. This is your cow crew. And that's just the life of a cowboy. They come in, they do what they need to do. Yeah, we appreciate you guys doing that right there for us. And as they make their way around the arena, you can see on the feed and in person, of course, that the wind's blowing just a touch. It's up there around 20 miles an hour this evening. But as we watch these colors come around the other end of the arena, we want to think about the people that have made these sacrifices, the people that have given us these freedoms in life. And because the Western heritage and the ag life is so, so important to everyone, the things that we are blessed to do, the things that we are blessed to say, and the things that we are blessed to carry to defend ourselves, those are the most important things to our families. And it is because of the lives that have been sacrificed over the centuries to honor that red, white, and blue. For it was true blood that was spilled on many a battlefield across this great big earth that God, our Creator, has made. I know those two men down there and getting to know Ryan, and I can tell you they're all like-minded. And as we take a moment tonight to just cherish out here in the beautiful weather all of the things that we get to do, and as they find their way back to their respective spots, we're going to ask that everybody stand and that everybody remove cover, and that we're going to go to our Lord and Savior in a moment of prayer. Evening, Lord. Father, we love you. We lift you on high and we praise you. And we thank you for everything that you bless us with. The sky above, the water that makes the grass green, and the good nutrients in them soils that only you could squeeze out of this old rock. Father, we've talked about those men and women that have given us this sacrifice of life and limb. Some never came home. Some died as younger than they should have ever been. But as their families and their homes made the greatest sacrifice of those lives, we want to lift them up to you tonight because we know they're sitting at your right hand. Father, these dogs, these people, and these dogs that have come here together this week, what a creature. What a creature that you've blessed us with a dog and a horse so that we can help feed the world. Father, we love the beef business. We love everything about the Western lifestyle. But as life goes on, as we leave here tonight, we just ask that you put a hedge of protection around each and every ranch, each and every homestead, and each and every family that's here, for they need you. For we're all battling. We're all battling for a better day, to build the kingdom for you. For when that day you come back on that great white horse, what a day and what a blessing that's going to be. You know when that is, and we don't. So our job is to continue to follow your son's light. That son of yours that you hung on that old rugged cross, to just shed every blood ounce that he had in him. Father, I could have never done that with my own. But I'm so thankful you did it to wash away my sins. Father, we just ask that if you're not in the heart of anyone here tonight, that they come and they accept you right now up on this moment. That you just go flooding in over them so that you can carry them back to your eternal mansion that we're all trying to get to. Father, there will be people die tonight, and we just ask that it not happen here. We ask that you protect every animal, every heifer, every horse, every handler, every dog, so that there is no harm comes to anyone. But as those first responders roll tonight and in the morning and every day thereafter, keep them strong, keep them healthy, re-heal this world, drive this pandemic away. We believe in miracles and we believe in you. And it's our prayer to you tonight that we lift up, because you hung him on that rugged cross. And it's in that son's precious name we pray. Amen. Well, boys, if you think you're ready and the wind ain't gonna blow you off, let's post the colors, gentlemen.
Can you not get it working?
What would it be? Connected and all. We'll do it the old-fashioned way, boys. thank you for your service through the weekend and the whole week that we've been here. We can't thank you enough for all that you have done for these folks showing these cattle this week. Well, if you're in this little competition tonight, you're going to meet me down at the gate, believe it or not, and we're going to introduce every one of you. We're going to have you come and be a part of what the 2022 NCA Finals is going to be. Well, we're going to start with Amy Nelson. Where is Amy Nelson? Amy Nelson. Let's walk right out here. Oh, don't worry about that gate. We're going to need it in a minute. We good right here, Brandon? Amy, come right here a minute, sweet pea.
He was trained by Mr. Mike Rogers. He's my best buddy. I'm running his mama tonight too.
Where you got it from?
Missouri,
Where?
Mountain Grove.
Mountain Grove, Missouri. Miss Amy, y'all give her a big round and welcome her to the arena, please. Go stand right back here in front of them guys. All right, that's going to be the first dog to go. That dog's name is Trip, and they had an 0208 at the line. Their running time was 11:41 with 410 points. Junior Hicks, where you at, Pard? Come on in. This is not Junior's first trip here to the NRS Ranch. Y'all give him a big round there. Junior's leading his dog Hank in. Evening. How you doing? Where are you from?
Mountain Park, Oklahoma.
Mountain Park, Oklahoma. How many times have you been here to the ranch to compete before in the other dog trials that we've held?
This will be the 4th time.
Win money every time?
Yes, sir.
I thought that was the same Junior Hicks I knew. Hey, you guys give Junior a big round of applause and his dog. You guys line up right there on the other side. Nathan Ward, where you at? He's going to bring in the dog Quinn. Oh, I'm sorry. Junior had a line time of 02:37. His time was a 10:10, and he comes in with 410 points. We're going to welcome Nathan Ward and his dog Quinn in. Step around here, guys. Yeah, lie down. That works good. Nathan, where you from?
Orlando, Florida.
How long have you been competing in NCA?
Over 5 months.
How many hours was it from Florida to here for you?
18.
Do you think you could get to Canada in the same amount of time?
Not with my wife and kids.
That's exactly what I thought you were going to say. Hey, y'all give Nathan a big round. He's coming in here with his dog Quinn. They had a line time of 02:51 with a run time of 12:41, but their points were 420. Next to compete, Connie Emerson and Vance. Y'all come on in, Connie. Uh-oh. Did he slip the collar or bust the leash? He's resting. See, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Step on around here, sweetie. So, tell us about the dog Vance a little bit.
We bought him from Alan Miller when he was 6 weeks old, and my husband trained him. He had a little accident when he was 6 weeks old, broke his leg, had a splint put on it, and it was wrapped too tight, so he lost 2 toes and a pad on his foot. So he's our little two-toed wonder.
How many times have you shown this dog in the past?
I started with him last year, so probably maybe 10 times.
How you think about the run tonight?
It's going to be tough. We've got a lot of good competitors out there, and it's just good for us, and we're just going to have to handle the battle.
You're from where?
Merkel, Texas.
Merkel, Texas. Big home of Mr. Buster Welch. We've been there a time or two. Y'all give her a big round. We hope that dog's going to get a little rest here. Now, if you grew up in the rodeo world or in the horse show world, you understand what it's like to draw up back to back. This next competitor has drawn up 5th and 6th. John, come on in, John. And I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to let him correct me. John Stottlemyre, that was really good. Well, I'm proud of you, John. Tell us about these 2 dogs. Let's start with Summer that you got in 5th place.
I bought Summer from a really good friend of mine that got me in the border collie business. She's a coming through. She come from Kelly Cali in Amarillo, Texas, when she was probably 6 months old. Sent her out to Frankie Cost in California, which now resides in Oklahoma, I might add. Then Kyle Diller done some final tuning on that one.
What's the one thing that drives you to do what you do in these competitions?
Well, some people say I'm competitive, but it's something that, it takes so much time, patience to work through. You have to read the stock. There's so many moving factors. It's not something that's not easily watched from outside. You come in here and get in here and do this. I watched trying to get the right dogs for about a year and a half, sitting up in the stands. Thought I got this figured out. Till you first time you walk in and you forget what it is.
I understand. I'm going through those same feelings right now. Tell me about the dog then. Is it M?
M bought her from Brandy Weinrich. She was trained, started by Joni Teachin and finished up by Kyle Dillard. I got her at the end of July after the MSSA finals last year. It's taken us this long to kind of get on the same page. You just don't get one of these dogs and go to work with them. They got to get used to you, your tones, how you work them, and all those kind of things. I feel like we're just finally getting there.
That's amazing. So 2 dogs, the only competitor, the only handler to handle 2 dogs tonight. What do you do for a living from like midnight to 5 a.m. and past that?
Well, my day starts every morning around 4 a.m. I get up, I work dogs while my brain's clearing right, and then after that I run 2 companies, 2 water well companies. I own them myself. Fortunately, I got really good managers who at home taking care of business while I'm out here playing.
Managers, we appreciate you folks being at home helping John. Y'all give him a big double round. He's in here 2 times. He's in here 2 times. So Connie had a run time of 3:20 at the line. She had an 11:08 for a total time, and she had 420 points. John comes in the 5th hole with Summer at an 02:44 at his line. The time was 10:34, and he had 420 points. And then on the 6th dog, and understand we're reading these backwards. That's actually the 5th place dog because we're going from slow to high. But John came in with him on a line time of 2:37, a total time of 09:31. That's the first dog to break the double digit and get below that 10-minute line with 420 points. And then it brings us to a young man that I met, and this is the better half of the clan, I know. Mr. Tim Jessen. Y'all give Mr. Tim a big round. He's got this compadre. Look at me. I'm sorry. That's a bad thing. Tim, tell us about this dog, Walt. I think I've seen this dog go before.
Yeah, you probably have. He's my brother's dog, Grace Walker, and he's just steady as a rock.
How old is he?
I think he's 5.
But he's your brother's.
Yes, sir.
Have you bought him, or you just borrow him when you want to?
I'm just borrowing him right now. I'm trying to work out a deal, but it's tough.
I know who you're dealing with. I can understand that. You're the more handsome younger of the 2. Is that not correct?
If you say so.
That's what I thought, brother. That's what I thought. Tim brings Walt in, get this, a line time of 1:40.40. His time was a 9:22, and he had 420 points as well. You guys pay attention to these times as we go along, but give Tim a big round as he joins the rest of the class back here. Now, if this was a team open calf or open cut and whatever, and all of those things are held here at the ranch, this is where the butterflies are uncontrollable in the guts of the top 3. It just happens that way. You can be an old school competitor, but there's still something going to get a little wiggly in your belly down there. We're going to invite Carly Kingston in without the dog Duke, but that is the dog that Carly has competed with. As she makes her way, she was an 02:44 at the line. Thank you. And she had an 08.48 on the total run time with 420 points. Carly, I suppose yours is laid up resting as well, is that right?
Yes.
Tell me where you're from.
Mountain Home, Arkansas.
And in Mountain Home, Arkansas, I'm going to ask you this. I know the answer, but what do you do for a living?
Dogs.
Dogs. Yeah, I mean, when the times are that tight, things start making a lot of sense. And there's one thing my mother taught me growing up, was never ask a woman how old she is. So I'm going to change the question, if I may. How long have you been competing with dogs and handling dogs in competitions?
My first trial was in September of last year. So,
Where was that trial held?
Mountain Home, Arkansas.
So at home, and how well did you do there at home in Mountain Home, Arkansas in that first competition?
It was my first one and I got 4. And then there was one the next month in October that I won.
What do you think the difference was in that 60-day span from September to October that took you from 4th to 1st?
I just kept learning a lot, and Randy helped me. Randy Mooney helped me a lot and just taught me a bunch of stuff.
If you don't think this competition isn't for the entire family, if you don't think that if you're sitting at home watching this on the live feed or up in the stands and you're just an enthusiast, I'm pretty sure if you visit with this young lady later this evening or tomorrow, I think she'll help you understand the reason that the NCA is so important on their 10th anniversary this year in 2022. Y'all give her a big round of applause, would you? Well, I said I misspoke a while ago, and I know that I can prove it because I wear glasses, but I gotta back up and eat crow, as we say around here. I missed it, and I gave John all the glory a while ago, so I have to tip my hat and apologize to Miss Amy Nelson. Amy, come back out here. Come back out here for a minute. We gotta understand this little piece right here, because I was a little behind on my briefs. So, Sugar, not this dog, the other dog, because you're ready to run this dog. Tell us about Sugar.
Sugar is 5. I got her when she was 3, and she was started, and we just try. That's what we do.
I think just trying is good for everybody. She came in here with Sugar, had a line time of 2.06. Her time was an 8.19 with a total of 420 points. She is the only lady with 2 dogs and the second of 2 competitors to have 2 dogs. Y'all give Amy a big round. And as we love to say in the team roping world and in the rodeo business, and then there was one. Come on in, Derek. Derek Westover. Y'all give him a big round if you would. Derek is going to compete tonight and handle a dog named Sky. Male or female dog?
Female.
And where are you from?
I'm from Homedale, Idaho.
How many hours for you from Idaho to Texas?
24 exactly, driving straight. We didn't do that though.
You came by yourself or with someone?
Got 2 kids, wife, and my in-laws.
Oh, the in-laws came. 24 hours with the in-laws. Can we have an in-law clinic? Because if you can put 24 hours down the road, that one more proof of the puzzle is that this is a family sport, it is a family game, and it is a family industry. Your line time was 2.07, and your total time was a 7.50. The only dog to break the 8-minute record there on that part, and you had 420 points. What was the easiest part about the course for you down in the indoor arena of the NRS Ranch Event Center?
None of it was easy. I still get nervous and excited, but I trust my dog, and I'd say that's the easiest thing for me, trusting her. And we're a good team, so that helps.
And what do you do for a living?
I manage an assisted living and memory care facility.
So the dogs are your restful peace at home?
Yep, they're my outlet, my counselors, yep.
We appreciate your service to our elderly, and we appreciate your time here. We're going to wish you the best of luck. If you turn around and join those folks right there, that is your We're going to clear the arena. We're going to get some cattle set. We're going to be ready to go here in just a moment. We're going to visit about all of these things. So we're going to have you talk there.
You can hear yourself in those if you'd like.
Just right.
And you, I mean, let me listen to it while you talk real quick, and you tell me. Just tell everybody hello.
Hello, everybody at home. Here we go. We're fixing to start.
All right, our champions tonight, they are competing for the Vaquero Trophy Tack, trophy buckles, a custom trophy jacket by ABC Designs by Becca Barrett, a hanging wall plaque by Becca, and then a custom hat or two-hole dog kennel. The hats are from Jeff Biggers at Bigger Hats, and the kennels are from Leighton Stevens. Now, I think we're ready to go. Mr. Sonny Mahern is joining us here. He's one of our board members. He's going to call all of the shots here, color commentary. Here we go.
Here we go with Miss Amy. I think this is her first national finals. Her dog Trip was trained by Lincoln. She's called for her cattle. Okay. She's called for her cattle again. There's the stock setters. They'll set 3 head out down there for her. The clock will usually start when she sends her dog or the cattle clear the gate. Here comes her cattle. Here we go. Make a little hard right. She's going to go to a wayside. We are here under the lights at the NRS. What a beautiful place. It's been a great week of trialing. Sonny's going to help me with my microphone technique here. Sorry, guys. This is my first rodeo. So she's got a good hold of them. They're headed down towards number 1. It's going to be the fetch panels. Usually have a set of fetch. We want like the dogs to go down, engage the cattle. Lift, we call that a lift, outrun and lift. Lift's very important as she needs to get a hold of them and kind of build a reputation with the dog and the cattle, and Tripp's done an excellent job. Amy's moving. I don't know what the handler's line is with these guys, I'll be honest. As you can see, we have our obstacles mostly numbered. Number 2's over here to the left. It's kind of a V-shaped obstacle. They tried this in the barn yesterday, and they said they had a little room in it and it was a little wide. So they narrowed it down for this finals to work them over just a little bit. Probably guessing. I apologize for my ignorance. I wasn't in the handlers meeting. I would guess with that middle panel that she's going to have to go one side or the other to that panel.
So, Sonny, when we watch the dog work, is the handler allowed to step and redirect the cattle in what their needs are?
Yes. It appears she's standing behind their line. They're probably going to make her work behind the line for a while. That calf kind of come around and come the wrong way. But yeah, she can influence behind the line any way she wants to. We don't allow any touching of the animals whatsoever. She can move, and she had 2 there. So she can ask the judge anytime she wants to what she's done, what she's not done. She can have contact with him, so she understands what she's done. But as far as cattle, she can move, influence all she wants.
So, as she works this course tonight, what's her time limit? What's her maximum amount of time she can invest?
I believe she's got 7 minutes to get just as far as she can. When they set these courses up, they will try to take into account difficulty and handler level, and this is the national finals, and whoever wins tonight's going to win a big purse and a bunch of stuff. So, we're trying to strain them, and we want. The ideal is 1 or 2 dogs finish this course, so with the less mistakes. So every time they make a mistake, we are points in time. So what that means is every time a cow goes through an obstacle the proper way, they get so many points for that head. And we're not judged. Cattle in arenas are for sure hard to judge. So they're penalized with time. So the longer it takes, the more mistakes they make, the less far they're going to get, the less points they're going to get.
So, Sonny, how long? There's 2 Sonnys here, obviously, tonight, and we feel like we're probably brothers that were separated
Sonny
at
and
birth.
Sonny.
But Sonny Miller is asking Sonny Mahern is if that dog has been trained this well, is it a combination of work by her being the owner as well as a professional trainer that's helped her get this dog to this level?
Absolutely. Lincoln is an excellent trainer, trains a lot of dogs for a lot of people. Now it's kind of like in horses or anything. When you deal with an animal, when she went and got her dog, it takes a certain amount of time to build a relationship and an understanding of what the holes in the dog are, what his limitations is, and what he exceeds at. And she has to learn those things, and he has to learn her voice and her tone, and it's a built relationship that takes time. There's guys that kind of can pick up a dog and take off, but that's pretty rare.
Understood. So, being from Mountain Grove, Missouri, up there where she resides, and her bio tells us that she's been in this for about 3 years, and she uses her dogs to farm and ranch and hobby and trial and sport competitions, etc. But she says that the type of stock that she works with her dogs pretty regular is sheep and cows.
Yes. Amy's actually a good friend of mine, and she raises my puppies for me, so she comes up and works our stock all the time. And dogs need to be pretty versatile, and a lot of times we start dogs on sheep because of the exposure to get hurt, things like that when they're young. And they're a machine that we're building, and from the very beginning of their life, we're building confidence, and we don't want them to fail. They can learn to be successful if you put them in those right situations. Then when you get in a rougher situation with age, mentally they can handle that. So we start them on that different stock, and sheep, and some people even go down to ducks, cattle, goats. Horses aren't good. They will work a horse every once in a while.
A horse will sure enough bow up at a dog a lot of times.
Bad.
So you guys being friends.
So right there, she just asked. She said she got one, and probably what they've done in the handlers meeting is number 3. When you're when you're done pointing, and she can get one and move on, or she can get all 3 heads. She has that option. But when she's done pointing, then she can leave the line and go down and get a little more hands-on with her dog.
Sure. So you say y'all are friends, and she comes to y'all's place and works livestock all the time with you guys and managing puppies and those things. What do you think about this dog Trip? You've known him several years?
Oh, yeah. Well, he's 2 years old, so I've known him for a year, I guess. We generally start him roughly around a year old. We'll expose them as very young, but probably mentally when they're ready is about a year old. So, yeah, I've seen Trip. He's been at the house, and he's a really nice dog. He's got a lot of feel to him. He likes to take care of the stock. Most of the time right there, he was getting a little agitated with that, and those dogs feel that in your voice. I mean, it's just like a horse sitting on a horse when you get excited, and you mentioned the butterflies for sure.
Well, I know that there's a lot of tension going on out there. Hey, I was pretty proud of that round of applause. Can we get it one more time, though? There we go. Amy, that is an amazing animal. We are so proud that you and Trip made it here to the finals tonight. As Sonny was telling us up here on the live feed, you know, we're looking for a couple of dogs that are going to finish this course, and everyone agreed that this needed to be one of the most difficult courses out. This 10th anniversary of the NCA here in 2022, they started in 2012, and everything that they've got going in this novice class tonight is just amazing. The scores are in. We're over that technical difficulty side. So Amy Nelson with her dog Trip, they come in tonight with a total time on all 3 rounds of 18:41, but the time you just watched, this was a 7-minute course tonight. She does have 90 points on that, so her aggregate total time 18.41 with total points of 500, and right now she's in the lead. She's winning it. So our cow hands are going to come back in. They're going to ease around here, help get a hold of these cattle a little bit after Amy and Trip get them positioned back where they need to get ready to go to exhaust, and we'll keep moving on. We would like to thank Nca. They have been here with us all week at the event. They are one of our great sponsors here, and we appreciate them. Kirk and his team that's been here with us this week. Nca, what's inside counts. I think we'd all agree with that. The very best nutritional program that we can go with is going to give us the extended life of our stock and our dogs and our loved ones and ourselves. So you guys make sure you venture on out there to nutrienorworld.com. And if you slide by the booth down there in the indoor arena tomorrow, that whole team will be down there, and they will help you in the greatest manner possible. As we get things squared away and changed out to go to the next level, I'm just going to share something with you that one of the directors shared with me here this evening. And if you need to have a little clearer understanding of everything about the NCA, I want you to listen to this. This is the mission statement. Their mission of the National Cattle Dog Association is to encourage efficient, low stress, and humane cattle handling by promoting the use of and demonstrating the value of well-trained dogs. You're about to see an exceptionally well-trained dog right here with Mr. Junior Hicks from Mountain Park, Oklahoma. His first BC Border Collie was in 2019. He's called for his cattle. We're going to go back to the live feed commentary. Junior, good luck. Dottie.
So here we go again. Our second dog up at our night finals. Junior's dog is called
Let them know that this is just a rough.
Hank.
Hank.
It's not the official screen or time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you look on your screen, guys, there'll be a clock up there, but it's unofficial, so keep that in mind.
Sorry, I couldn't see Sam's hand.
So here we go with Hank. He's got a hold of his cattle. He's headed to number 1. Again, fetch panels. Usually start with fetch panels. And that'll also be a timeline. I'll explain that. You've probably heard that all day, but we'll talk about that for just a second. So this trial will be points and time. Points trumps time. And then if they get through their through their course, we'll set a time to them, and also number one will be a timeline, and that's a tiebreaker. So if we all have the same points and we all have the same time, which is a possibility, then we'll go back to who come across number one first, and that'll break our tie.
So as Hank gets redirected here, Sonny, and he gets pulled across the course to take hold of these cattle, I've been noticing here in the program this week, all of our NCA directors and officers that are on the board. And you're there. You reside in Thayer, Kansas.
Yes, sir.
And your title is at large for 2023. Why don't you tell the folks that are watching tonight what that means so that they can understand as they become a member of the NCA?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have different regions across the United States. And 6 of those directors reside. They have to reside in whatever, so they're South Central, Southeast, Northeast, such. And then we also have 3 at-large directors, which means we just cover everywhere. Those directors can be nominated and come from everywhere. And we're nominated each year. The 2023 means that my term will end in 2023, so I have one more year. I've been on the board. This is my second term. I was the previous president for 3 years, and it's been a joy to do this. I've had a good time. There's been some stress and some times that we had to deal with some things and had some growing pains over 10 years, but all in all, our heart is with this dog, and that's what we've got to do, is promote this dog and show people what they can do.
Well, I think there's so many folks that travel around the country, and then the town folk that go into the big stock shows like Fort Worth and Houston and San Antonio and Denver. There's 7 major building stock shows in the United States every year, and the American Royal is about to take on, and they'll finish the season basically. But they all seem to have a border collie, a working dog demonstration at those. Have you ever participated in any of those personally?
Oh, absolutely. Actually, I did the educational days at the American Royal for several years prior to COVID. Went up there, and I think 6,000 or 7,000 kids come through and seen my dogs for a week. What a blast! They come through.
Yeah.
It's amazing. We farm and ranch, and people that come to the house and they'll like, wow, we had no idea those dogs would do that. And then I'm like, well, let me get the good dogs out. And, they've been around so many dogs that weren't trained as well. And these are a tool for us.
You bet.
There's just no way to survive. But a lot of demonstrations all over the place. And, Denver Stock Show's a big trial for us that we put on every year. And
yeah, that Western National is an amazing event. We've rodeoed there for years, and it's always been a great place. That face of that mountain range is amazing that time of the year. And when you mention kids and seeing the demonstrations, talk to us a little bit here while Junior and Hank work through this course there at obstacle number 3 there. But tell us about the youth of the NCA and how someone can get involved. Just like we spoke to Derek, he's got a day job in town, but he uses the dogs, and that's his release of stress. So tell us how someone with a family could get there.
Well, that's the beauty about a collie. I'm an old team roper, and some of those disciplines take a lot of time, and we spend a lot of time with our dogs. But I'm saying, if a guy gets him a halfway decent dog and 30 minutes a day, 3 or 4 days a week, and you can have your dog working pretty nice. It's not a full-time job. The kids, we have some youth that are running, and there's a novice tonight that's a young lady that's really come along. My daughter is 17 and won Mountain States national title, and she's an open handler, but she couldn't make this because she was in school. But we have several youngsters in our deal, and we push for that. We sure love to see the kids and see what they can do with a dog, and the things they learn, the stockmanship and things like that they can't learn anywhere else.
Well, that's not a wrong statement. I mean, it's out here in God's country, and it doesn't matter whether you're in Missouri or Idaho or
right,
Montana or Wyoming. It's all about the stock, and the folks that are out there these days in social media, and they're learning. Our job is to educate. And so if there's a youth program through the NCA, then a kid that really, really loves animals, this will be a great venue to get that youngster involved. And, everybody asks me how I got so blessed to have this job, and I tell them it was through youth camp and church and 4-H and FFA and all of the things that we've been blessed to do, and we're just trying to pay it back through our youth of America, because they're the ones that's got to replace us. And these dogs are an amazing tool, as you said.
And that's, that brings up a point about dog guys. If you haven't noticed, some of us are a little windy, and if we can start talking about a dog, we love to talk about dogs and kids, and that's one thing with the National Cattle Dog Association or any association. Get on there and find people, because they'll help you, and it won't cost you. We do little things all the time at my house. I have people come up, and dog people are just that way. They love to share their knowledge and help people any way they can. There's old dogs out there that are ready to retire, that are perfect for this class. They love to help. They love to help.
Well, and as we hear our judge call time,
we didn't call much on these.
We didn't call much there, but as Junior and his dog Hank help get things cleared away here in the course, then we do want to take this opportunity to introduce our judge tonight, Mr. Marvin Daniel. He is from Billings, Missouri, which is just outside Springfield. Y'all give him a big round. And if you weren't at the banquet last night, you missed his induction into the NCAA Hall of Fame. And what an honor that is. He and I got an opportunity to speak here just a minute or two before sundown, and he said he didn't have a clue, wasn't ready for it, but he was sure proud to have been a recipient of that. So we have an outstanding individual judging and calling the clock for us tonight. Again, Mr. Marvin Daniel, we appreciate everything that you do and how you fit so well into this team of the NCA and what they get done. The scores are in on Junior. Full run time of 7. His points were 40, and that gives him a total time of 17.10 with total points of 450. So right now that puts him in second place. Leaves Ms. Amy Nelson still up there in the number 1 hole. We're about to go to Nathan Ward and his dog Quinn. We wish Nathan all the best. He has a 251 on the line and a 1241 with 420 going into this. So, Nathan, the course is yours. Make a call for your cattle. We're good to go, pard.
Show me his.
This is Nathan's first year, and he is running the dog Quinn.
Go.
So, something we need to point out here is this is a full run. So he has full run. So this guy, with the way this course is set up, they're having to work for it. They're having to work really hard. So he has full points over 2 runs, and the rest of the competitors all have points. So time probably won't be a factor. It's going to be the points that become the factor in what they can get done with their dogs.
And so when you mention full points here at 420, that means he got the total amount of points possible both in round 1 and round 2, correct?
That is correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So this is liable to be a next step up then in the caliber of the dogs that we're
would
watching.
assume so, according to what the scores say,
Yeah.
and hopefully he'll kind of get some flow and get some motion. We always talk about flow with cattle, and that's something that right here in these obstacles, there's some sharp turns and all, and these guys are just learning about flow and how to handle these cattle, and that number 3 is pretty snug. They've got to kind of keep a handle on them as they go across there. Quick turns, cattle don't like quick turns, and they start turning and all. They're a creature of habit, and quick turns do not make them happy. We do want to talk about our cattle there. These Red Angus come from Jessen, Todd Jessen, a friend of mine, and there's not a set. I don't know that we've seen one set all weekend that just absolutely knocked anyone out that they couldn't handle. That's part of being a handler is figuring things out, knowing how to handle your cattle, and as we move through these levels, these novice guys, they're learning their dog, they're learning their stock, and as the guys progress through this, then they start handling different situations. The tougher stock, the calf that wants to leave, they kind of learn how to handle those things, and that's why these obstacles get a little harder, is to step their competition up. And something that we always say is that it's hard to learn from your success. You need to fail to learn.
Yes,
and
sir.
that's a hard thing, but you'll see the holes in your dog and your training and your handling from not getting something done, and it's a tough pill to swallow. I'll tell you, we're my family and I are fairly competitive. It is hard.
You mentioned these cattle, and when they arrived here earlier in the week and stepped off the truck, we had just been blessed with 4 1/4 inches of rain Sunday afternoon, and got 3 inches of it in about 40 minutes or less. But when those cattle went to stepping off and I went to see them, they were really nice. And I picked up the phone and called a ranching buddy of mine out here to the west, Jacksboro, and told him what I was seeing and sent him some photos of them, and he said that is an amazing set of cattle. So we do want to, sure enough, compliment Todd Jessen. We were giving him a little hard time a while ago from the arena floor, and we were interviewing his brother Tim, but that's what he does for a living, and I'm told this is the kind of cattle he's got on hand all the time. Is that true?
He does, yeah. The last few years always been these Red Angus, and Todd has some really nice, strong dogs, and there's an art to breaking cattle. You don't just go out and start running around and chewing on them. You have to see when they get enough pressure, when they don't have enough pressure, and have the correct dogs, enough dogs to break. I think there's 170 head here. Man, that takes some dogs.
So, and looking here at Nathan's bio and him being from Christmas, Florida, and it says, what type of country and terrain do you work your dogs in? He says it's just flat and hot down there in Florida. So how's this dog doing with this little set of heifers here as they moving along?
He's handling fine. He's a little tight over there at 3, and that's just a tough hole. They're having trouble to seeing that, and that's your stockmanship thing. That's something he'll learn. You can't see, those cattle can't see through that panel, so they're kind of avoiding that. So you really need to kind of get them backed off and show them that hole and let them have that idea. And just there, when he kicked in, you watch your stock and see how that calf sped up. So that tells you that he's probably just a touch tight right there to be hitting. That's a narrow hole that I think Amy got through that, but the last guy had a little trouble with that. And the cattle aren't really wanting to go in there. They're kind of having to talk to him pretty hard to get them in there.
Tell us about the bloodlines of this dog, Asher Dale. It says, what are some of the bloodlines in your dogs that Nathan has? And Asher Dale, that sounds like a really great name, but do you know anything about that bloodline at all?
I'm sorry to say I do not.
Well,
I do not.
From what the dog's displaying, it's a pretty good lineage, and like we come here from the roping world, and all of our cattle
almost had them all 3.
Boy, it was close, wasn't it?
I think he's got 2 for sure.
So if that animal goes in the other end, which would have been incorrect, he would have had exhausted them all.
That's correct.
Right?
That's a dirty load.
Yeah,
that's right. And it's hard to tell how things will end up. You never know. Oh, there you go. He's going to get them all 3 loaded, and he's going to wrap them around. And his dog's got some feel to him. He's not a real fast flanking dog. I call him a little tight, but the cattle don't mind him. And it's funny. You can see some dogs at 10 foot and the cattle are happy, and sometimes at 50 foot they're scared to death.
Yeah, sure.
It is and those dogs have to learn that feel. That's part of our training process, is to learn that feel, because that's not a natural thing to them always. Some have natural feel and some don't. So if they don't, you try to put that into them so they can have some feel on their stock and some stockmanship. That's
sure.
what it is.
Talk to us a little bit, if you will, for the viewers that are not NCA members and know all the ins and outs, but away and come by, away being
sure.
a counterclockwise and come by as a clock, but he's incorporating a whistle as well. Run
That's
that
right.
through for us.
That's right. So the directions, and just the basic fundamentals that we teach all these dogs are their left, Now that's their left, not ours. So when they're on the back side of the cattle and we give them their left flank, they move to their left. And sometimes that's a little tough to understand from your point of view. So a left flank is a come by, and that's kind of the old sheepdog handed down from Scotland, Ireland. It's been used forever. You can use anything you want. It doesn't matter as long as the dog reacts and you're consistent. But most everybody uses a come by to the left, an away to the right, a walk in, and that's his time. So he got through 3.
Yep, that's the right way to do it. I tell you, we were reading through here on his bio. Christmas, Florida sounds like a really cool place to be, but he says it's flat and hot, is what he says it is down there. And we are so proud of Nathan making it right here into the 2022 10th anniversary. 10th anniversary. I thought this was around a lot longer than that. So as we continue to learn, as we continue to grow together in a partnership, us here at NRS Ranch, along with the NCA, Nathan's time is in. He did run the clock to the full 7 limit. He has tied Amy on the points tonight in this round at 90 points, and his total time is exactly 1 minute longer than Amy's at a 19:41 over her 18:41. She has 500 points. Nathan, he has 510. That now moves him into the lead because the points do trump the time. We're going to get these cattle exhausted, get them moved on out. Here comes Ryan Oates from over in Arlington, Texas. As soon as he gets them eased along there with Jensen Gaynor down there at Ira, Texas, Connie Emerson and her dog Vance is going to take the field. And they've got an 11:08 on their round 1 and round 2 time. They too have full points. This will be the second dog we'll get to view tonight. He's got 420, and so we're going to wish Connie and that good dog Vance all the best. Apex Pet Supply, apexpetsupply.com. If you need it and you can't find it, you need to give Apex a chance. They will do everything in their power to get you what they need. A big hello and a thank you for Mr. Dwayne Packard. He sent his bride down here. He's got a bunch of ranching going on up there in the windy country of Hawk Springs, but he is the president at large through 2024, and we're very thankful for him and his guidance. There was many a phone call and many an email getting all this stuff put together, and he and his bride Dottie, they have worked, I'll tell you, tirelessly through everything, getting everything squared away. We're going to ease on over here now to Connie, and as soon as she gets her dog set here, and it looks like she's called for her cattle. We're going to wish her the best, and we're going to ease back over here on the live feed. Y'all can pick us up there at nca.com. Click on their Facebook link, and we'll be good to go.
So we were talking about our away and come by, and I'll finish that real quick. Come by to the left, away to the right. And then we work on a walk-in. Should be a nice square walk-in. Some people will get off, and then the main thing we have is a stand or a stop or a lie down or whatever such thing that we can get some control on the dog.
So some people say down, just the single word. Some people say lie down. Talk to us about the difference in that command.
Well, there's really not going to be a difference in the command. Some of the old thought is that one syllable stuff, use a one syllable name, dot, spot, whatever, is a little more simpler for the dog. Lie down versus down. And it's kind of funny. At one time, a friend of mine, his name's Ken Herbal. He's put on clinics all over the country. And when I first started, I said down. And then the next time I said down, a little bit louder. And the third time I said down. And he walked up to me and he said, "Sonny," he said, "which one was the right one?" So it always needs to be consistent. So if it's lie down, it needs to be the same tone. Try to keep the emotion. Those dogs feel that emotion. And you watch this little dog, this little faster little dog. dog here, and scooting right along. So emotion will probably crank this dog up, and I'm sure she's a little emotional right now. She's excited to be here, and those dogs feel that.
So in tonight's setting, under the bright lights here at the NRS Ranch Outdoor Arena, how much different is this for these dogs and these handlers competing versus a daytime run? I know in our rodeo business and in the team roping world, we would always prefer to get a daytime run over a nighttime run. So is this a brand new setup for most of these folks?
Absolutely. I part of our thing was on the board that we talked about, and this novice class is just hugely important to the NCA. I mean, oh, looky there, she's got 2 in, and she can take those 2 and go on. Starting out and stuff, it's an amazing thing what these young handlers go through, and that's what we wanted to do was stop this thing, bring them under the lights, give a little different look to this thing, and make them the spotlight of this, because they are important to our association. More important than anything.
Well, and it's the same way in the team roping world for us. The masses are all the lower number people, the headers and the healers that are just learning, and the upper echelon, the Trevor Brazils that live 6 miles
right.
over here to the west, and the Cooper family, Roy and his 3 sons, Clint and Cliff and Tuff, all the PBR world champions that are around live in this country. So I guess my biggest question for where she's at on the obstacle right now is she got 2 through. Does she have to start over and take all 3?
No. So once she gets 1 through, she's allowed to move on. But she's allowed to retry as many times as she wants until she gets all 3. But once she starts that retry, she goes back to 0. So if you get 1 through and it's a tough obstacle, you could get stuck as soon as you wheel that dog and the judge feels that you're retrying, you're at 0 again.
So she got 2 through. That would have been 60 points on this number 3 course. Is that true?
It would have just, they're 10 points ahead. So
10 points ahead. She got 2 through
20.
So that would have been 20 points.
Right.
Gotcha.
And I can't say what she got over on number 2 because I wasn't paying attention. So I'm not much of a good commentator.
as all of these dogs seem to have their cattle struggling here at number 3, what do you think the chances of some of these other dogs further down in the draw that are faster? Are we going to see blow-ups here at number 3 as well? Yeah, absolutely. And one thing about, we run slow back, so these are the dogs that scored a little slower. And that gives the higher call, and we do that to build as the rodeo world. We build that, but also they should be studying down there, and they should be seeing that how much trouble people are having at number 3, and if you get one, you might head on, because I'm sure at 6 and 7 down here, this is a big sort. It's a pin in a sort. There's going to be 60 points right there. Yeah.
So if you drop 20 here and 20 there, 10 there, it's get on. Because this will be assisted too, and they can kind of distance is your limiting factor with a dog, and as we start building outruns and working away from us, it's to me, I hate to oversimplify it, but my simple brain works this way. Today, 20 feet, this dog is good. 25 could be a wreck. So distance away from us changes their mindset and how they work and how they process things. So when they're close to us, they work a little better.
Sure. One of the things that we teach here in the clinics, and we have beginner team roping clinics and calf roping and all that, but one of the things we tell people when they first come in is, today is ground 0. But if you could improve you and your horse 1% every day from this day forward, in theory, in 100 days, you're going to be perfect. But that's just not the way it goes, is it? And it's sure not the way with these cattle tonight.
No, it's not. But a good friend of mine, Joni Titchen, that kind of coaches and mentors me and all, she says that exact same thing. 1% a day gain, 100 days, you're at 100%. So.
Right. Well, I think she's doing an excellent job down here trying to get this.
She's working hard. She's really working hard, and that's what happened as a handler, and that's what you're going to learn. You kind of have a feel for, I probably shouldn't have retried that, but those cattle are they're just a little bit of an overflank, and these cattle are really broke. We talk about fresh cattle versus broke cattle. These cattle are really broke, and they really take a dog. So an overflank, they really show an overflank, and she's just going just a touch too far. So see, she's almost lined back up. Now there was a refusal.
Oh.
That calf was lined up and
just backed right out.
She just backed right out, and that's really hard to take sometimes.
Her bio says that she got started about 5 years ago, and the reason she started, she actually needed help with the stock that they have and that they're working on. And she too is one that works all three: cattle, sheep, and goats. But she says her terrain out there in Merkel, Texas, which we can just hear the judge call time for her there. So. Yep, that's the right sound to make. I tell you what, obstacle number 3 is kind of tricky tonight. Kind of making things a little tough. Hey, just really quick, we want to make sure we recognize the rest of our directors and officers as we wait for those scores to come in. A big thank you to Mr. Charles Holt, and he's the vice president from up there in Oklahoma. Patty Collar, Northeast until 2023 from Donaldson, Iowa. Lincoln Rogers, he's here. He's the treasurer, and he's from the Southeast. He's from Seminary, Mississippi. And then Mr. Tim Fettis, High Plains, Manhattan, Montana. He is locked and loaded through this season in 2022. Barry Breamish is Canada. Delaraine, Manitoba. I've been off up in that country, and it is really pretty. Just got one of the greatest rodeos there is around. Peter Gonnan at large from Outlook, Saskatchewan, and then Sonny sitting here. We talked about a lot of things from Thayer, Kansas, and all the good things. But I'm going to tell you what, as he calls for his cattle, there is a young lady running around here named Angie Brooks, and she is the executive secretary from Mulberry, Kansas. If you don't go by and tip that woman or hug her neck, something bad is going to happen to you. Last score, full 7 minutes. Points were 50. Total time is 18.08. Setting in third place with 470 points. Good luck. Here we go. This is John and his first dog from Luther, Oklahoma.
So John's headed around, got his lift started, starting to pick his cattle up, and as you see, these dogs are being really good to these cattle down there on the end. They're lifting them nice, and really the whole run, it's an amazing thing as you study these cattle and study these dogs and sheep especially. When we work some sheep, how they lift, how that lift is critical, how they move them cattle off that fence. And if they go down there and get a hold of them the first thing, it's a pretty rough run. I had one yesterday, and my dog did that.
So how many times have you competed this week already yourself, Sonny?
2, 4, 6. 6 times, I believe.
And what were the outcome of those 6 runs?
I've had some good outcomes this week. I think I was 2nd and 4th in the nursery today, and I won the horseback 2 days ago. And I do have my dogs all coming back in the open in the nursery, but I won the horseback last year, and I don't think I'm going to get to run for the short go this year. I kind of flubbed up, so.
I think you're limping around here a little bit the last few days. Share that little story real quick as we watch this good dog on obstacle 2.
Yeah, most everybody's heard. I got kicked and broke my fibula a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, and everybody says, well, where's your cast? And I try to walk and boot, and my brake's pretty high, and my doctor said, well, it's really going to hurt because that brake's so high, and it really did. And I'm pretty hobbled up, but I don't know. I'd just be working at home and working my dog, so here
so it's
I am.
Work either way.
Here I am.
The biggest thing it's gotten you out of is a bunch of panel toting
I've
this
not
week.
drugged many panels, boy, thank goodness, and I've been doing a lot of that over the years. So
well, we understand.
I've done a heck of a way to get out of it, but.
So let's look here at John and this first dog going. This is the dog Summer, and this dog was a 1034 combined and a total of 420 points, but he's only been using dogs for 1 year, he says.
Not very long. No, I know John, and he's been really hanging around us, and we talked about getting dog and finally got him a couple of dogs, and I mean, he has made strides. This guy he loves the dogs. He supports the NCA, amazing, and other associations. He goes all over the place. He just loves to work his dogs. So he got one through there. And he's going to move on. He just crossed the line. The judge said, "Hey, watch your line," so he come back.
That was a pretty good back pedal right there.
He was a student, wasn't he?
Right, it
Looks
was.
like he had a fish hook on his pants right there, didn't it?
So I'm going to put you on the spot again here. Dillard breed. What are some of the bloodlines? Is that a breed?
Dillard,
bloodline that you
actually,
know?
Kyle Dillard is a friend of ours out in. I think he's in New Mexico, out in that part of the world. Really nice ranch hand, really handy with the dog, really, really handy with it. Kyle's a really nice guy, big part of the, we have all these regional associations that are part of the National Cattle Dog Association, and Kyle's a big part of the Southwest Cattle Dog Association, so does a lot of trial. They put a big futurity on down there that is spectacular, 70-some dogs, and that have never been trialed. I don't know where all them young dogs come from, but they'll
show up, huh?
They will show up, and that's what Kyle's had some just good using nice dogs, and that's part of this thing. They talk about sheep dogs versus cattle dogs and using dogs versus not, and that's most of us in here. That's we want a dog we can use and then come here and play both. I mean, and it can be done. It can be done.
So I think Summer's going to get used here because we've got one that's kind of lifted off and left.
Yeah. She's going to have to shove them back and kind of change her mentality for her. 3's kind of a booger, that's for sure.
So as this dog comes back across and he's put her down, she's really quick-footed. She's really fast.
Yep.
And that's what we love to see in a heel horse. I would think it's a big advantage on a bigger course like this as well. This course is set at 150 wide in this arena and 280 foot long from the far end back here to us. Is that a standard setup for most of these novice competitions?
Oh, yeah.
Or do they wind up being smaller facilities?
Boy, we're beggars can't be choosers. I think that how the dogs react to different sizes of facilities and how the obstacles are set up. A smaller facility, because we talked about presence and stuff, and this dog's fast-footed, and that can spook those cattle. That probably is why that calf run off, is that fast-footed dog, and that calf is reading that dog, and it's like, whoa, and so a small arena that shoves that dog in there. The dog can't get away to be right. We say that's right when they've got that feel, that spacing, because it may be 100 foot off and still affect that cow, where a slower dog may be closer. Not always. It's just how those cattle read those dogs.
And so with John being our fifth competitor here tonight, meaning that's half the field when his time expires, but these cattle are starting to get a little separated and not wanting to herd up and hold up quite as much as the set right before.
Yep.
We're saying that's a little bit of the attitude of the dog, we're thinking?
It possibly could be, and these cattle, they're just cattle. And
they're together right now. They look like they're pretty happy as they head back now.
They do, and as we start to turn and see that she's pushing, she's leaning on them a little bit, and there, as a handler, he kind of called her off to get her to just give them a little bit of space. She's just pushing in on her flank just a little bit, and those cattle really don't like those dogs on their shoulder pushing on them. When they get off of them and they can see them in their eye, they'll kind of bend, but at the shoulder, it'll kind of speed them up and push them.
So that one heifer came through the opposite way from the other end.
Right.
No points.
No
dirty
penalty,
load.
No.
And there's our time.
Yeah.
So.
It's a tough obstacle.
All right, there you go. Let's hear it for him. That was John Stottlemyre from Luther, Oklahoma. And he had the good dog Summer. We're going to give John just a minute, I believe, and we're going to exhaust these cattle. He's going to grab his next dog, M. And he comes in the next position. The National Cattle Dog Association membership don't cost a lot. It's $25 per year or $100 for 5 years. If you're no good at math like me, you need to get your little calculator out, but that's only $20 a year. We've got the scores in from our good judge, Mr. Mar Daniel. It is a full 7 minutes, so all the dogs thus far are at a 7-minute run. Points were 40. And the total time is 17:34 on all three. And total points is 460. So that's still setting Nathan Ward and his good dog Quinn. They're still in first place with 510 points is where they're at right now. Amy Nelson sitting in second there at 500. So if the competition were over at this point, she would wind up with the reserve champion buckle, and Nathan would have the champion. But we've still got 5 more great handlers, 5 more dogs to go. Amy and John are 2 of those down as we get into the bottom. So once again, if you're watching online tonight, if somebody shared it with you, picked it up, welcome here to the NRS Ranch in Decatur, Texas, where all things are Western. And if you can't find a better thing to do than watch one of these great Border Collies on Friday night here, it is a beautiful evening here in Texas, and we really appreciate it. The novice class did come into these finals with a 25 dog limit. Their handler and dog qualify as a team, of course, as you're seeing them compete and handle here tonight. This class is limited to handlers who have never competed in the open class. A novice handler may compete with any dog at any time during that qualifying year. And because of that, as the NCA grows and its 10th anniversary, we're proud here at the NRS Ranch to host them. I am very humbled and blessed to be the Director of Operations here. And we want to thank one of the finest dog trailers in the world, and that is Jones Trailers. You can email John at jonestrailers.com. They are located at 201 South US Highway 183 in Woodson, Texas. Go by and see him or look him up online. Looks like John's got Summer put away. He's got M out. They're coming in with a 237, a total run time of 9:31, and a 4:20. And he's put M down. We're going to see where John sends her. And we wish you all the luck.
So here goes John, and you know, you could tell when he walked out he was a little frustrated. We hate that for him, and you know, just like the rodeo world, you got to shake it off and get rid of it, and away we go.
Well,
let's take another swing.
And when you make it to the short round in any kind of competition, but when you make it to the short round and you have a frustrating obstacle number 3 the way he just experienced, it'll be interesting to see, because when we're lucky enough to get 2 or 3 runs back in the short round and a team roping, you know, the cattle are always a variance in it, but it's also the score and the get out. Well, these obstacles are much like those things. You said you were an old team roper. Did you head or heel or rope both ends?
I was a header. Never did heel much. I was a header. Not a real good one.
Well, there's a lot of us like that out there.
I loved it. I truly loved it, but I couldn't feel a horse like I can feel a dog. Some of the training in a dog is feel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And I couldn't feel a horse. I just couldn't feel it.
That's an interesting way you put it. It looks like this dog's got a little feel and a little handle going on.
Well,
right here.
so I know this dog quite well. This dog was bred and raised by a friend of mine, Brandy Weinrich, up in Nebraska. I've kind of watched this dog. She was started by Joni Titchen, my friend that does sheepdogs, and you'll watch the flanks there, see how the dog kind of almost moves off, and see how the cattle react to that move, because she doesn't get up on their shoulder and push. She kind of gets out in their eyes. You know, she's pushing in there just a little bit, but they're hazing really well. See, they're just, and he's just a little behind. If you'll get just a little bit ahead of them and not let them to the fence. The fence is a dirty word, you know, because those cattle, they figure out how to cheat a dog, but you can see her flank, see how she's kind of staying off of them and moving nice, and away we go. So I would say there's one. I think they got to go out and go to the left.
Okay.
So I believe he got one there. I hate to speculate. I should have went to the handlers meeting. Sorry, guys. I didn't know I was going to talk on this thing. So
Well, I think it's as good to watch these dogs in an almost unknowing fashion because even though the course is there, the obstacles are set. There are many things that happen, and one thing we want to point out to everybody, and we'll bring it up again here in a minute, but Jensen Gaynor, our good buddy from the cattle pens, setting the cattle this evening and helping out as an armed services veteran and our ranch mascot, he says, and that is Mr. Alex Mayberry. So we want to give a big shout out to Alex. And so if you guys and gals are watching out there tonight, just type him a little note, and we're going to share that with him at the end of the broadcast and the stream tonight. So big thank you to all our armed service men and women, but Alex is here helping us tonight, and we appreciate his help.
You bet. You bet. So if you'll see how she kicked off a hem. That's something Joni teaches them there. She kicked away, and then she's got a really nice forward walk in, and away we go.
There we go.
Three.
Well, there's
Just
a move right there.
Just right. And so obstacles is a fine art, and handling cattle. There's some obstacles that just don't work. You're like, well, really, that should have worked, and it didn't. This is a straight in obstacle. It's not a wrap obstacle. Some of these places you can just cake the cattle and they'll wrap right around and walk in. This one, when they miss the mouth, you can see they're wanting to wrap to the other side. They don't want to wrap into the mouth. So you need to back them up just like he did right there. Kind of back them up and let them see that, and try not to push the dog too far. Now that one's wanting to look, but he's wanting to influence a little bit, see how he's moving. He's really trying. So he influenced one. He's got one, and we'll see what he does here. If he flanks back, she's kind of happy right there.
She is.
And you know, she's probably going to follow her buddies back out, I would guess. Oh, looky there.
This may be a step, but the wrong step to the left.
Yeah, but that back one might step in. She's in a really good spot.
There she goes.
Bring her around. Now see, watch how she wraps. See, when she wraps, she's so tight. It's just terrible to wrap that. So what he can probably do here is those cattle will pull that good one out just like they did there.
Yeah.
So he's got one.
Yeah.
He can
So
move
now
on.
we're going to see a dog move to obstacle 4, right?
So and you know, we don't like when we set up a course like this. We really don't want to have the viewer sit here and be stuck on this. That's not what we're after. But cattle are just cattle, and sometimes we don't think quite like they do.
Well, you know, around here we say that's why we eat them typically.
That's right.
You know, and they taste really good. We love them. We do.
We love them. We ate at a restaurant the other night. She tried to get me to eat pork. I was a little offended.
So as it looked like he was about to try to take another stab at that number 3, did the cattle think they were going to get brought back through there, or was it just the dog getting hold of them?
It was just the way. And he asked, so he moved to another line. So they've got another handler's line up there, and he's perfect on 4. They loaded in there. See, they like that. It's just a little different angle and all with cattle. And so he's through 4 now, and he's headed to 5.
Well, that's something
3,
we haven't seen.
4, 7. So he's probably at. He's cooking right along from what we've seen so far tonight, and the dog's off of him. You know, she's got really good feel to her, and she's listening to him really well. So there's a little thing, you know, you ask about the stand versus the down, and it's kind of a funny thing because there's some serious downers out there I want my dog to down, and I have one that will scream across this, and my daughter Abby, she loves the down. Me and her argue about stand and down all the time. When they stand, they kind of keep their feet to them. They keep a little presence on the cattle. So here he's coming to the pen. Now he sat away there, and she didn't go away. And I'm going to pick at him if you guys can hear this at home. I know John, and you can hear his voice. I mean, he is cranked right about now. And those dogs feel that. She's not overreacting at all. This is just a really nice, level-headed dog. Always liked her. So he's got one in the pen. Now, he can't let her out. He's got to watch her because she's going to go. Oh, heck, I don't know. The judge is going to have to ask. Keep going. So he's probably got a sort in some way or form.
So no points on sort then.
So close. He's got to make a split.
So far.
But that's the farthest. That was a fun little run to see.
Yeah. So what about that? We've got a dog that has made it through to obstacle number 7. We didn't get the sort completed, but that is an amazing dog, an amazing handler, and I'll guarantee you there are some dead butterflies in that man's belly about right now. He was having a little bit of anxiety going along through there. One of the smartest things we saw happen was that he stepped on up and took that 1 down on 3, and so that's pretty well changed a great deal of things that are happening out here in the course tonight, and we're still 4 dogs away. We are not finished by any shape, form, or fashion. We want to be right there giving a big shout out as we wait for the next handler to come in for Patty Cribble-Kohler. She's a certified crop advisor, and she is with the Field Quest LLC up there in Donaldson, Iowa, and we appreciate their support of the NCA, everything that they've done. Hurlman Stock Dogs, give them a call at 580-603-1755. They will get you squared away. Windmill Spraying Service LLC. They've got a light tower. They got porta potties, trash trailer rentals. They believe in John 3:16. They are the believers that we want. All right, for John on his last dog, he went to full 7. But here's the big change. He went with 160 points. His total time is down to the lowest we've seen so far tonight at 16:31, and the total 3, 580 points. We're going to welcome in right here. This is Tim Jessen. He is from over there in Nebraska. Dog is running.
Oh, I saw it.
So here we go. This is Tim Jessen, right?
Yes, sir.
I better pay attention while I'm doing. So Tim is Todd's brother who provided the cattle. What a great family. There's Tim and Jake, and actually, boy, I'm going to be at a loss. Their nephew plays for the Buffalo Bills. Now, I am a Chiefs fan, and we did beat the Bills in one of the greatest games ever. But that boy's a left or right tackle for the Bills, and they're a very proud family of that. I'm telling you, Todd was a little torn about that game, and
I can't imagine.
But what a great bunch of guys! Really nice bunch of dogs too.
Well, and you know, in his bio here, you know, the same reason that he got started using stock dogs were to help handle the cattle, but you know, his main deal is for ranch work, and they work a lot of cow-calf pairs. Is what he says. So have you been over to their ranch?
I've been to Todd's in Oklahoma, but I believe he is up in Nebraska. Yeah, no, I've not been up there. But wonderful place. We had a horseback class at Todd's not too long ago down there in Oklahoma, and it's super nice place.
Well, the way he describes that little place up there in Nebraska as being in the northeast quadrant up there.
Right.
And it's river breaks of the Missouri River, and it's very rough. And he says that's kind of what it's like around his house.
Yeah.
The traits that he likes to see in a stock dog: toughness and bite. Talk to us about the bite on a tough dog.
Yeah. I want to point out one thing. He's taken a little different theory on where he's going to stand and how he's going to influence those cattle. You know, he's a little worried about fighting that fence. Probably they get to running the fence and figure out they can do that. So he's going to stand over there and try to help his dog. So bite is something that cattle do occasionally need. And as we bring these dogs from pups and we start moving them into these roles with cattle that'll come out and sometimes get quite violent with them, they have to protect themselves. They have to have a strength. And some of these dogs can do a lot with presence. They can push just by who they are and the way they handle themselves. But most of the time they've got to have a bite. And then you go to talking about clean bites. They don't hang. They bite on the tip of the nose, or they bite a foot, a heel, a nice heel bite, and then they have some trashy bites. And some of those traits you can help. We've belly biters, neck biters. I mean, and those are really good ways to get themselves hurt. A good clean nose bite and a good position usually will smart a cow and give them a little intelligence. The line of communications are open at that point.
And it builds that level of respect, obviously, for that dog to bring them out of those river breaks.
That's right. And in the NCA and all, we have people, so he's got one, and he's probably going to take that and move on with the way he's thinking. People handle that. That's what's great about our association is that we don't tell Texas how you're going to have a dog trial, because your dogs, your handling, your cattle are different in Texas than they are in Wyoming or Montana.
Sure. And
how you handle those things. Some of those dogs got to go into places that those cows got to protect themselves. I'm in southeast Kansas. We don't really have any predators that mess with our cattle too much. So, but some of those places, they get serious, and those dogs got to understand. And the bite is such a good tool if it's used properly. Sometimes it just makes them mad if it's overused. Boy, she just shot right in there. She's going to shoot right back out. Doggone it. They just think that's a dead end. It's pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
It's a trap.
Yeah.
They feel like they're being trapped, and they don't want to be trapped.
So when you guys are just managing cattle up there in your country, for instance, and you'd mentioned earlier that you won the horseback class.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do you get horseback, or are you also a side by side and an ATV with a dog, just depending on time constraints and location? How do you choose when you go to the pasture horseback?
Oh, I don't go much anymore. I'm not getting younger, and I did buy me a little kind of cut and bred horse that I'm really enjoying, but I background calves. I don't have a lot of pairs. My dad has pairs, and I help him with, but we background calves, and them calves, the dogs just do everything. I mean, I don't really even have to go in a side by side. I just send the dogs and set at the house. And what brought me to dogs is my dad 20 years ago bought a ranch that had some Salier Longhorn Cross that my dad could tell you, I think there was 357 cows and 356 of them would kill you. So I learned how to ride a horse and day work and
it was
survive. I mean, I had to. A four-wheeler, and of course we didn't have side-by-sides then, but a four-wheeler, they would just take the four-wheeler from you, and good luck. So, yeah.
We get a horseback around here just about virtually every day. And we have a lot of events, but we are a working ranch as well, and we got a little Corriente cow herd, and they're blessing us with their fourth calf crop on them, and they're athletes. I mean, we train them and we rope them through.
You bet.
We have a program that works and is proven, and then we have the same thing, of course, with our clinics with not only the world champions, but Kinsey Shull, our ranch manager. She was number 4 in the nation back there in 2015 in the intercollegiate ranks, and I've been fortunate enough to travel with the world champions and learn how to teach from them. But what I've learned from you guys this week, and of course you got Jason Terrell and Jensen Gaynor around up here all the time, I have learned so many things that I even went and got my own dog. All right. That's the better half of the Jessen family. And when you're moving around out there and that clock is running in your head, and you look at obstacle 3 and things start getting a little tight over there, those cattle, we called it in here on the live stream. Sonny said it's just one of them deals. Those cattle think that number 3 is just a trap, and they're a little bit unsure about why they need to go in there. But that is an outstanding gentleman with a great dog, and that is Walt, by the way. Scores are in. Another run at the full 7. We've seen how tough the course is. The points are at 40. The total time being at 16:22. But again, time doesn't offset what points do. But for Tim Jessen and the Great Dog Wall, he's got 460. So he is in a tie for points with John. Now, pay attention. Pay attention close here. This is Carly Kingston. This is her good dog, Duke. She just started last September. She's coming in with an 8.48 and a full 420. She's going to call for her cattle, which she just did. But we're going to go back to the live stream. Join us on NCA.com. Here we go. Good luck.
So I'm venturing to say this is our youngest competitor, and she's in our CCA. I'm part of the CCA, the Central Catalog Association, another subcategory, kind of a regional group that we belong to.
Okay.
What an outstanding kid. I mean, she's just she's a sweetheart. She loves this dog. Randy Mooney and her kind of run this dog together, and I don't know. I think it likes her better than Randy. Sorry, Randy. I'm pretty sure it likes her better. But this dog has some feel. I watched him there a few weeks ago at our CCA finals, and he just kind of feels things out, and man, he loves to work for her. Just really enjoys pleasing her. A lot of these dogs want to please. Sometimes it don't look like that, you know. You kind of feel like, well, I think that dog really don't, and it's just communication and all. But you can see how he's pretty tight, you know. But the calves don't mind him super bad. But there's the wrong side.
That was a pretty good stop, though, to be on the wrong
really
side,
nice.
wasn't it?
Yeah. She come around, and the cattle are really respecting this dog, you know. And that's what you want. You don't want to come in here in a trial, and there again we talk about broke cattle versus unbroke cattle. You just don't want to see the dogs getting run off. And there's 3. Wow, that was
so there's
really
3 on 2 obstacles, and the points are racking
beautiful.
up.
You bet.
Yeah.
You bet. Just what she wanted. And so there's a little speed there. There's a lot of speed out of the dog. A little over flank. I'm sure she's a little bit excited. Here we go at 3, and there's one in, and then it's going to come on around. Maybe not.
Almost.
Just hang on, sis.
Oh.
So probably someone is out there coaching her, and no, she's going to pull them back out. I don't think she probably really wanted to do that.
No, I wouldn't say so.
So a little bit of speed. You see the dog speeding up just a little bit, and in that moment, you know, especially as a novice handler, what we're showing here, it's a little tough on them. You know, you as guys that we've been doing, and it's still exciting. I mean, why would we do it if it wasn't exciting?
Right. That's
but that's a time to take a breath and
just kind of exhale.
Back your dog off a little bit and start over again, and let the calves settle just a little bit. So see that she's trying to wrap, she gets at the mouth, and it's just a terrible obstacle to wrap in. It's just terrible. Oh, there's one. There's one.
Take it.
Go.
Girl.
There she goes. So she could move up to the next line. She's going to retry.
So if she retries, she just lost that one for
out.
the point.
Yeah, she's back to 0.
There you go.
And you know, I guess go big or go home sometimes, and see how it plays out.
So on the other handlers,
there's 2. She's kind of shoved 2 in, almost a third.
Oh, how about that move right there?
Come on, sis. So there's 2.
She's going to take it. That's probably a smart move.
Yeah, I think so. It's stressing me out just a little bit, right?
Well, and I think everybody watching wherever they are, and there's folks standing over here in the bleachers even, I think they're all a little bit anxious for her, just based on the story that she is.
You bet. She's such a nice girl, and my daughter. Sometimes I hate to talk about myself so much, but my daughter's 17, very talented girl. My son Run, he's an open reserve national champion and an intermediate national champion, and done all this stuff, and I can watch him all day long. Oh well, Abby, I am a total wreck. It's awful. I could just pass out because I can't hardly breathe.
And so that statement in itself, we deal with that a lot here in the clinics, and the beginners that come and they'll hold their breath. If a handler goes to holding their breath, Does that dog read that?
You bet. Oh, they read, they feel everything. So she got all 3 through 4. 5's really not a bad little obstacle. So she's kind of at a spot. She's at 4.5 minutes. So she needs to, but that's plenty of time in this small of an arena
to finish up
to get right here. And there's 60 points right here in front of us.
Yeah.
So don't mess around down there much. She's going to get them all 3. Look at that.
There we go.
So a nice little dog. And, these dogs learn the game. And there's 2 sides to that. They can learn the game as a young dog. They can learn, hey, Dad's not going to come down here and spank my rear or whatever. He's stuck down there. So guess what? Fun.
I get to do what I want.
I get to do what. And then when they get really good and they get seasoned like this dog is, they start figuring the game out. Hey, we're going in there, and they can help you so much. Dogs will read those cattle, and that's a lot what we try to teach is the stockmanship in these dogs and what they can read in these cattle, because they can read faster than we can, I promise.
Well, and she says her country there at home is pretty hilly there around that Gassville, Arkansas area.
Yes,
so,
sir. Yes, sir.
To put this dog out on the flat ground just as a trial.
That's right. So she's got 2 step up, sis. There you go. So now she's got 3. So I don't know what the sort is, but it's probably just 1 there. And make a sort over here. Her dog's going to have to hold the hole. And when she gets out here, she's going to get a time. There we go. Good job, sis. Good job.
And so when we talk to people about the easiest species in the world to teach something,
You can breathe now, Randy.
that young lady standing in the middle of that arena is the easiest one to teach. She's young, she loves it, she desires it. I've been told this dog loves her more than the man that's helped her get to this point since last September, and I think that's pretty obvious. But any female woman, human species, is the easiest thing in the world to teach. They're always willing to please. They always want to help. If you don't believe that, just go get you one and treat them badly and see how that goes. They'll teach you really quick. That was a heck of a run, Carly. We are so proud of you and for you as we await the scores to come in here for you and Duke to add on to your 420 that you already had. I know the folks back in Gassville, Arkansas are jumping up and down, loving every part of what you guys have done here tonight. My goodness, we're so proud of you. And training your own dogs, I think you've got a really, really bright future. Scores are in. This will be the first dog to complete the course before the 7-minute time limit. She does that in 5.48. She does get 200 total points on that run with a total run time of 14.36. Launches her into the lead by an additional 110. She has 620 points total. That is your first place right there, knocking on the door. Here we go with Amy Nelson, her dog Sugar. This will be her second dog tonight. She's called for the cattle. We appreciate N5 Catering out of Center, Texas, but we're going to go back to the live stream. We're going to let Mr. Marvin Daniels do his excellent work that he's been doing all night long.
Away she goes. So here goes Sugar. I've worked Sugar, helped her just a little bit with this dog. This dog was trained by Michael Dow out in the Mountain States, a good trainer. Trains a lot of dogs, does a lot of rough country type of work, so I'm pretty sure Sugar's seen some seen some situations where she came from.
She says here that Sugar is a granddaughter of a Gus and out of Jed Rowland's female Foxy. Give you any insight to any of those bloodlines?
There's going to be some strong dogs. No one Michael Dow and this 7J Ike and all. I mean, those are a stronger type cow dog type of. They're going to handle they're going to ante up their job. They're going to ante up.
She says Sugar is hard-headed, and sometimes she thinks she can do it on her own, and sometimes that's true, but teamwork is the best characteristic between the two.
Amy is a sweetheart. She does probably have a little problem with this dog. She may love this dog more than her husband. Sorry, Ryan. I don't know. I shouldn't comment on that.
Well, my
she
wife
does
is
love
the
this
same.
dog.
My wife is the same, and she loves her dogs more than me. And after I got okay with it, life kind of settled down. So,
Right.
Ryan, if you need a little counseling, brother, come on up. We'll help you with all
Absolutely.
those pieces. We will help you.
So she's working this number 2 here. So now she's got a couple. We'll see how she handles it. And you can hear in her voice. Just listen to her voice, and she's a little agitated.
Well, I'll tell you, I've had a dog now for a year. It's an Australian Shepherd, and just kind of a crazy way I wound up with her. But
she's going to retry too.
She thinks the value of working this fence over here and supporting that dog. But I think she just got a little angry at the dog.
She's a little amped up, I think.
She's
knowing Amy pretty
up.
well. She's just got them butterflies, and she's excited. She loves to work dogs. I'm telling you, she does help me raise some puppies. She is under contract. Anyone looking for a puppy raiser, I'm sorry, she's off the market. And she does an excellent job with those young dogs and brings them along. And there's a lot of socialization. I seen a study once that said, so there she got 2. So move on, Amy, move on. Okay.
Yeah, give them the signal.
You know, they showed those young dogs, those young border collies that hadn't been around people, and at one point, I forget, they hadn't had any human contact up to, like, I think it was 3 or 4 months old, and they were completely feral. They couldn't change them. So their early life is critical to how they handle these situations and people and interacting with different things.
What got you started having her raise your puppies?
Well, I've got quite a few dogs, and really you've got to go through some dogs to find the really good ones. And she is just excellent at it, and we do pretty good, but we're pretty busy, so there's times that we don't get to spend the time with those dogs that we need to, and she does. She just does a phenomenal job. She really does.
She's got the setup here at 3, and she got those cattle stopped before they kind of went to windmilling around there.
Yeah. So they're not minding Sugar too bad here, you know, but there again, she's trying to wrap it. She needs to back them off of that mouth, which is exactly what she started to do. But they're just awful close to that mouth, and those cattle really can't see in there unless they're back away from it and you show them, and that's an obstacle you need to kind of like let it be their idea.
So
she's lined up a little better.
Yeah.
And if she don't overflank the other way, she might be okay. Now, see, them old cattle are shouldered up, and this one doesn't really want to go in there. That one didn't want to, so they kind of lay on each other and shove around.
Talk each other out of it.
It's a narrow, and so Sugar's going to get frustrated a little bit because she knows the game. I mean, she's like, you son of a bucks need to go in there. I use good language, I'm sorry, but you son of a bucks need to go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a beeper. She's going to start beeping me out here in just a minute. So now she's trying to take a little breath, and the clock's a-ticking. And it really, boy, it's kind of like quicksand out there. You know, that's one thing I'll say about team roping. There's not a lot of time to think, ooh, I screwed that up, and fix it.
Correct.
In this game, you can say, whoa, I got to change this, and there is time to a point.
Mm-hmm.
But in her mind right now, and you know, these guys, like I said, they've only been trialing for a short amount of time. I mean, this is cranking by. It is over before they can even almost blink.
Well, and in the cutting pen, it's the same way. You know,
Yeah.
you're right in there with that 2.5 minutes in front of you, and to cut 2 or 3 out, and this is, for all practical aspects, this is cutting and sorting those cattle and moving them as you need them to be without that horse.
Yeah.
And in this division, in this novice division. And
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
She's got them lined up a little bit.
Oh, there's
and
a couple.
She's got 2.
Oh, she's going to go on. I'll guarantee you she's going to go on.
Yeah, I would.
There you go. Go. Come.
So she asked the judge if she cleared that to move on to the next time.
Yeah, so the wording there is as obstacle 3, when you're done pointing, you can leave the line. So if she left early, before they left, she might not got the points for that. So look at those cattle. See, they're already, she's a little, there's a little shot. See the tail come up?
Yeah.
Yeah, cow did not like that. Sugar's getting a little frustrated, and Amy's voice is pretty excited right now.
A little tense.
Doggone it. We have a friend that sent us some calm down cookies for dogs. It's a CBD. They farm it from the hemp. They actually farm it all the way up to production. They put some samples. Maybe she should have.
Maybe she should have.
Should have tried a cookie before.
Maybe she should have.
Sorry, Amy.
So these cattle are on the fence now, and we haven't seen a set yet be in this position. So what's the recovery chances of this now?
Well, she's about out of time, so it's not good. And that was a little bit of a bite, a little bit of a cheap shot there, a frustration shot.
Yeah, that's exactly the way to pay her off right there. Her and Sugar. We appreciate them. That's a heck of an accomplishment, getting 2 dogs qualified in this, and we're so proud that she was able to do that. So as we await these cattle to get exhausted, Mr. Jensen Gainer is taking the corner over here. He's going to help a little bit, and we're going to wait on the scores. You know, I want to send out a big old thank you and a hello tonight to Mr. Rob Brown and his sweet wife Peg. They're off over in the Throckmorton country, and the R.A. Brown Ranch for bulls, females, quarter horses. Rob is the past president of the American Quarter Horse Association, and it is a brand with heritage. You can go to rabrownranch.com and send them a note. Tell them that you're thankful for their participation in the NCA. There are many things that you need to understand about the NCA if you're just learning about them tonight online watching this. But the past champions from the last 10 years in this class tonight would have been Verona Butler and a dog named Gus, and that is an amazing thing. Verona and her good husband have worked hard as part of the Texas team to help get this thing covered off, and all of the folks that we don't get to see from the north because of the ranching and going on. But this little run right here, I think, is going to show us all something. This is Derek Westover. He's from Homedale, Idaho. He is the good young man that brought the in-laws and the whole family. I know he prayed about this moment. And we're going to let him take the course. This will be your final dog of the night. This is the high team dog. Amy just scored a 70, gave her a total of 15-19 for a total of 490 points. And this dog is Sky. Yes. They're coming in with 420 on a 7.5. I think you're going to like this dog. Good luck, Derek.
Perfect. Okay. We'll do it.
So he's been at this for 2 years, and he says, I've raised goats for years and needed help moving them, and a good border collie was the right choice. Think he's got a good one?
We'll see, won't we?
I think we will.
I've gotten out to. This facility. We've had 2 arenas running at times, the field and the arena, and with me a little bit hobbled up, I ain't very fast, so I've been hanging out, not moving a whole lot. So I haven't got to watch this guy go. But being high call, I would say that's there's proof in the pudding there. Proof in the pudding. What a competitive class. We had 25 dogs. Had, I think, a short wait list, so we filled and so fast. The dog's fast. Something in the novice, you'll hear him, is he's on whistles.
Yeah.
And there again, you know, he's just going to have his left, right flank stop, and he's chose certain whistles that his dog will respond to. You know, a dog, I think their brain works a little quicker off of a whistle. They react quicker off of a whistle than a voice command. There's a lot of people that always start with voice, and then they'll move to whistles. And sometimes you get to a pen. A whistle can startle a cattle, and there's your stockmanship again. Sometimes a whistle will startle. Sometimes your voice will startle them. So as you get in closer and you start working closer to cattle, you'll change whether you use a whistle or a voice or.
How often do you use a whistle? What makes the decision to pull the whistle and use it? Just the
Usually
attitude of the dog?
The attitude of the cattle, the attitude, or getting close to my dog, you know. And as I said there in the old days when I was coming up through the intermediate and all, you put a lot of emotion in your voice, a lot, and a whistle will take some of that
Emotion
away to a point. And I'll say my first run outside, my coach Joni, she said, "Well, Sonny, you're really loud. You're not being very smart." And my dog took that emotion, and my dog that's out in the open is kind of a bulldozer type of dog. And when he hears that emotion, he's like, "We're going to go fast because Dad wants something done now." And it wasn't a very good
day.
Ending. No, it wasn't, and it was my fault. You know, I put that in, and so a whistle will help that. A distance for sure. When you start working at 2, 3, 4, you know, those guys can get 600-800 yards out on those big sheep courses and stuff, and they can't hear your voice, but they can sure hear a whistle if they so choose.
Yeah. Well, I'm intrigued by the whistle portion of it, and I'm looking forward. And we're just going to put it all on the line right here, and as we watch this last dog go, the NRS Ranch has made the commitment to the NCA for them to return for as many years as they would like, and we want to add some. Trials throughout the year for qualifiers, but we want to add some clinics and help
absolutely.
people come in here and learn and get the knowledge that I've gained from you sitting here by you tonight.
Well, I've had dogs a long time, but I'm pretty newcomer to the big thing. There's been people training and trialing for 30 some years, and you get those people in, and it is a learning thing every time. And I tell my kids one thing: when we walk out of a course, and here's the deal: you walk out of this, and some of these guys are struggling tonight, and it is tough. But as I said earlier, you learn from your failures, and when you walk off that course, if you'll say, "What could I have done better?" Don't say, "Man, my cows were bad, my dog wasn't listening, my whistle fell out of my mouth." Figure out what you can do, whether it's the winningest run ever or the worst run you ever have, but focus that light right on yourself at the beginning, and you'll grow, and you'll always learn. And an old friend of mine that also helped me start. That's the thing about this dog deal. These guys will always talk and help you. I mean, it's a mentoring thing. The guys that's been doing it want to help you. They want to talk about dogs. Lyle East told me one time, and he's a great trainer up in Missouri, and he said, the day that you stop learning, you better quit training dogs.
Well, and it's the horse business is the same way, and picking up a lariat rope or a picking string, it's all that way.
You bet.
It's all that way.
Just get better and better.
So he had to go through.
Yep.
He chose to start over.
Yeah.
And again, the time is clicking off there.
Time is clicking. Yeah. See, he's at 4 minutes already. And this is a fast dog, and that's what they'll learn as novice, is how that dog feels, how those cattle feel that, and this dog's fast, and they don't like him very well. Now see, so there's a little thing right there, and even setting cattle, when you set those cattle down there, it is vital. And I tell my guys when I put on a trial, slow down. The adrenaline, if you put that adrenaline in them cattle, just like that little bite will put a little adrenaline in them, once it's there, it takes a long time to get that adrenaline back down. And so if they're back there beating on them, which we have great stock setters here, clearly we do, but any of those little things, so when that dog comes by, and instead of showing himself, now he was against the fence right there, so it was hard for him. So sometimes they use that as a good excuse, like, well, I'm a little tight, so I can take this shot right here.
Right.
And see right there where he's at, and see how that moved him off, and they get to that shoulder, and it just speeds them up a little bit. And that obstacle over there cannot be hit at a trot.
Yeah.
You've got to be a walking.
Well, it's the old saying that we use around here, especially when we're doing clinics and teaching people how to manage livestock. And Core Innies are really teachable, coachable, and trainable, and you know they're quite a bit different than an English breed.
Absolutely.
And so in that mindset of where they are, you know, these cattle said, we're not going to 3, we're going to leave and come to the other end of the course. They love 7. They want to come right down here thinking they're going to get away. But
absolutely. Yep. And that's, you know, for people that's tuning in that don't know what this is, it is numbered. You have to go from 1 to 2, 3, 4, and if you get off course, and we've had some people in the past actually. Yesterday I started to go to 4 before I did 3. If you try to do that, if you get off course, you have to point at least 1 in each obstacle before moving to the next one. So if you don't point any in 3 and you try to go from 2 to 4, then you'll get called off and you'll be done because you're off course.
So that is one of the easiest ways to get disqualified then?
That is. Yeah. Not a disqualification, you just get called off because you can't score any points.
Got it.
We do want to, when you get back on the mic, if you would announce, we want to have our winners stick around with the new Trina to take a picture. And
well, number 3 tonight wasn't very lucky for a lot of folks, but that right there is one nice dog and one excellent son-in-law. I'll promise you that.
Absolutely.
And so within all of those pieces of the puzzle, we are going to finish up our score here. Get you squared away. And so it is official here. That is the last dog in the class. They did run the full 7. They got 50 points. Total run time is 14.50. Again, that is the second fastest total time on 3. But since the points trump out, that 470 points that he gathered overall for Derek Westover from Idaho, we know he's happy with that, but we know he'd also like to have a little different go on number 2 and number 3. As we get the final pieces here from our official secretaries, I can tell you that there is one happy young lady standing down there in Carly Kingston and her good dog Duke with 620 points. Unless somebody changes something, unless a judge comes back and says, wait a minute, and I don't think that's going to happen by any shape, form, or fashion, that it's all rock solid. And then second place is going to go to John Stottlemyre with the good dog M. 580 points total is where we're at. So that is our champions and our reserve champion tonight. And if you've been watching at home, you're torn down and we ain't talking to you no more, doesn't look like.
We're done.
We're done. We're done.
Tell the winners.
So winners, please, champion, reserve champion. Are we paying third place or just 1 and 2?
We'll pay, what are we paying?
I think we're paying for
Paying the 4.
So we got
first
the
and
prize
second.
line for first and second, and we want to make sure we get your photo down here with the new Trina folks. We appreciate them again so much. They are an outstanding company for the industry, and new Trina, what's inside counts. If you don't believe it, you just go sit down and visit with them a little bit. They're going to tell you about their new Trina Loyal Life and the Loyal Pet Foods that provide the highest quality nutrition for your best friend and how they count on it every day. So feed your dog or cat something they enjoy, that they'll enjoy eating as much as you enjoy caring for them when you go to scoop that Loyal Life. So once again, a big thank you to them. Those guys right there horseback, they have rode many a mile this week across this ranch, maintaining these herds and doing everything they need to do to get them in the proper place and get them set for these dogs to be able to perform. So we appreciate you guys coming in. There will be 2 more days right there in the cemetery pasture up on the hill below the NRS Ranch store. We hope everyone has a safe trip home tonight. And if you need anything, you guys got to let us know. We're here to help. do the very best job we can for you.
We have
Once
prizes
again,
through fifth.
we have prizes through 5th place. So half of the competitors are going to wind up with something of a token. Our champions tonight do take home the champion belt buckles. They will also post what they have won, both monetarily as well as prize line. That will go up as soon as they obtain these photos. They'll get everything updated on the website.
That's it.
And get them squared away. So because we ran this course in slow to fast, this is how we're going to call them back to you. In 5th place, in the lowest placing spot, and that is Miss Amy Nelson. She was in 5th with Sugar. She wound up with 490 points total. Congratulations to Amy Nelson, because she also wins 4th with the dog trip with 500 points. So congratulations, Amy, for making the final with 2 dogs, with placing both. That is an awesome a feat within itself. And then we go to Mr. Nathan Ward and the good dog Quinn. They are in 3rd place. They had 510 points. And then we'll move up to our reserve champion, John Stahlmeyer, and the good dog M, 580 points for 2nd in the reserve championship place. And in number 1, that young lady that did such an amazing job, finished the course, got the 60 down there on obstacle 7. Carly Kingston and the good dog Duke, they are the champions, 620 points. So if y'all see her, give her a big hug and a high five. And we appreciate all y'all coming out tonight. Appreciate your patience with the little technical difficulties when we got started. We'll try to get it all moved back and get it set up for none of that in the morning, and we'll be ready to go. Appreciate y'all staying. Whataburger is one of the corporate partners here. They are open right there in Decatur, right off of Highway 287. So if you're hungry, you need to get on up to the Whataburger. You are going to win. Some lucky winner is going to win a year's worth of Whataburger. So we encourage you to pay attention to that. Once again, I want to thank all of our sponsors and all the good prize line and the donations. That money is hard to come by. The NRS feed right here, our no-fly zone. Spend $100 on qualifying purchase and get $25 gift card for the no-fly zone right up there on top of the hill at the NRS Ranch. And we want you guys to get across there and get them. Get those cards as quick as you possibly can. A big thank you to Beaver Red Angus Ranch right up there in Leola, South Dakota. That is the genetics on these cattle that you've seen here tonight and over the week. And we appreciate their good work with Todd Jessen and his brother Tim, all the good work that they do there. Hunt MVP Whitetails. MVP Whitetails out of Kaufman, Texas. All inclusive. Trophy whitetail hunting. Schedule a hunt with them now. Give Jade or Jalen a call there. The Webster family. Harvest any size buck on the ranch, and they'll take you out, whether it's a 200-inch or a 400-inch giant. You're going to enjoy an awesome guided hunt with those amazing folks. Gun or bow, meals and lodging are included for a 2.5-day hunt. The Webster family and the MVP team, they can't wait to see you, so go see them over there at Kaufman, Texas. They have some monsters over there based on what I've seen here from them. As we get our winners set up and get our photo shoot ready here to go, we're going to just thank a couple of more sponsors that we couldn't do this without them. The Rural Route Hemp Company, your dog called and said he needed some treats. The cat is really getting on his nerves. So rrhempco.com, or give them a call at 816-507-0035. Beggar Hats, Jeff Beggar right up here in Decatur. One of the most talented guys you'll find. Go up there, he'll put the conformer on your head. Somebody is going to win one of his hats, the choice of. And he puts that conformer on your head and gets every little knot and every little twitch that you've got, and that hat will fit you. You won't even know you've got it on your head. Dragon Industry Wrap, Dragon Industrial Wrap, they have a full service line that will help your resources stay intact and keep you rock solid. Give them a call at 409-730-7016. They are listed on page 25 of the official NCA 10th anniversary program. Also, we want to give a big shout to ACDC. They have the prime. These animals are amazing what they're breeding in this whitetail market these days. So give them a call as well. They'll be more than happy to hook you up, get things squared away. Holler at Brad over there at ACDC on those trophy deer. Cowboy Trailer Sales in Crockett, Texas, cowboytrailersales.com. They partnered with Merhow. That is the official trailer now of the NCA. So give them a call, and we appreciate their help oh so much. The future of breeding, it lies in at the HR. Don Gilchrist, James Butler, and David Wimberly. If you have not met the Butler family, you're missing out. Get around there and visit with them. They've got the great sire Willie and Trigger Man. That Trigger Man is phenomenal. They're featured on page 30. Be happy to visit with you while you're here. They'll help you get your ranch stocked, and they will help you get deeper into the deer business. Guided hunting for whitetail deer and exotic game, fully equipped for entertaining groups of friends and family and corporate clientele. Go see them at Rock Creek Ranch right down there in Kirbyville, Texas. They are there at 409-383-3792. We appreciate their participation. Ward Animal Hospital, Nacogdoches, Texas. Go see them. You can look them up at wardanimalhospital.com. Over there in Nacogdoches in East Texas, you get over and get something neat stitched up or got a little overheated, get to them, and they're going to help you out the best they possibly can. The Klein Cattle Company in Center, Texas, highly qualified and experienced in all aspects of location and pit construction enclosures. They are K&L contractors as well. Give Justin Klein a call at 936-590-0229. Klein Cattle Company in Center, Texas, and the K&L contractors. We appreciate their support of the NCA. /J Stock Dogs. You can get them with lessons. They'll sell you a dog or they'll train you a dog. Give them a call at 701-440-1730. Again, that's /J Stock Dogs. Give them a call. They'll be happy to help. Black Ice, GNK Whitetails. GNK Whitetails. They've got it all. Summer Wingo is the pen manager. You can reach Summer at 936-427-2773, and they are in partnership with HR, the Butlers and their partners there. So go see Black Ice. See what that dude looks like. That is amazing what the genetics that y'all are farming out of there on. XL Ranch, Mr. Ken Stewart and Jenny Stewart. You can get them at info at xlranch.com. They're up in Powell, Wyoming. We appreciate their participation as well. You can go to the xlranch.com, find out all about their operation, and we appreciate their support of the NCA. Are you ready? Third place? All right, third place. Here we go. Mr. Nathan Ward and the good dog Quinn. They had a total points of 510. We appreciate Nathan bringing that fine dog in here, qualifying and getting things squared away. We have a lot of photographers down there, so don't forget to smile. Lincoln Rogers down there doing the handshaking. We're going to add some to the photo. We'll switch them out as they need to be switched out. Nathan Ward, third place with the dog Quinn, 510 points. 510 points for third place. Kaiser Creek Ranch, Kaiser Creek Whitetails, they're in Baird, Texas. You can email them at info@Kaiser Creek Ranch or give them a call at 325-260-7646. JB Waterwell Service and Drilling, new construction water treatment, the best in the business for over 20 years. JBWaterwell.com. They will help you with all of your water well needs. Give them a call at 405-388-2246. All right, as we clear Nathan from the photography winner circle, we're going to welcome in second place John Stockmile. They are with the good dog M, and they come in here with 580 points with the good dog M. John was the other person to qualify too.
We're up there. Whoa.
That was quite a feat. He was back-to-back, fifth and sixth in the working order.
Can I get y'all to adjust?
Thank you to Baymont by the
Yes,
windows. They're up here in town off of Highway 287.
Yes, I've got
Close to the historic town square.
I know, I'm so sorry.
Right here in the
I was really shifted off. I'm so sorry. I just ruined
Just passing through, and we're booked up here.
Hello, doggy.
We've done business
I'll sit
with
with
Baymont
them.
for a lot of years,
I'm sorry.
so we appreciate.
She was so
we
ready.
really appreciate their participation and how they help us. As we get the photos and everything switched out on the prize line, try to get the dog going. M, keep
M.
put your M. Maybe it's not going to work. Axtell Pharmacy for all your compounding needs. Go to axtellpharmacy.com and give them a call at 903
I think I got about 30 of them, so we're good.
3216. If you need them to mix something special up for you, they'll mash it up, grind it up, put it right in there where you need it to be.
John, congratulations on that reserve championship, my man. Pretty proud of you and that fine dog. Looks good. Looks good. And as we say in the roping world, and then there was one, and it is the champion. She has done an amazing job here tonight. And when she approached me out there in the arena, you could just feel winner, winner, chicken dinner all over it. She made sure that she put those cattle right through everything. What an amazing young woman. I hope her daddy's got a great big shotgun and a big old set of shells for it. Got it? That's what I wanted to hear. 37 years of training and competing. Win Walker Kennels, Mr. Chris Timmons. Give him a call at 940-256-2323. He's got a cool phone number and looks like he's got a pretty nice horse and some good dogs. Give him a call. Yeah, if you're down there, y'all all clap right now for that young lady. That is an amazing feat. Carly Kingston and the dog Duke, 620 points. She walked in here. Didn't take her long. She was the only one to get below that timeline in the 7 minutes. She made an awesome, awesome run. Mud Creek Ranch, family-owned trophy whitetail hunting ranch. East Texas hunting with an at-home field. Over there in Reclaw, Texas, Cherokee County. Ryle Taylor, give him a call, 936-590-0744. And Total Feed, Dr. Harry Anderson, we appreciate him so much. All that he does for the Western industry, not just the horses and the cattle, but also the dogs. Complete animal feeds for livestock and pets, and America's working cow dogs. Give Dr. Harry a call. He'll be more than happy to hook you up. 5 Oaks Cow Dogs, Jonesboro, Arkansas. Give them a call at 870-275-1945. We appreciate their support. There are several others, but I'm going to close with one here as we pack it up for the night. Rafter P, Pew Productions, photography, live stream, videography, and now sound work as well. They are expanding their ever-growing business. We appreciate Brandon and his family so much for all they've done. Miss Becca Barron and the ABC Designs, what a job you have done this week. We can't thank you enough. Castlemont Homes, Weatherford, Texas. Give Joel a call down there. We appreciate their support and everything that goes on. Those drink sponsors that put out all the water, thank them. Send them a thank you note. Give them a call. And I hate to do this, but he's a pretty good fella. Todd Jessen, I don't know if you're still here. I don't really care, but you made a hand this week furnishing these cattle, brother. They have been amazing. They make strong dogs that make gentle cattle. I think we've proven that every day. Give Todd a call at 580-465-6126. He is a platinum sponsor, and we want to give a heartfelt thank you to all the donors and sponsors, but most importantly, the volunteers, those of you in the membership that are here working. We appreciate that. We'll see you guys back tomorrow morning in the cemetery pasture. But until then, God bless, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite. Adios.